See, the match is about to start. So by your guys' logic, 50%, at least by Envy's logic, 50% means that Blazebois show may lose the first match, but will probably win the second match, right? Right? Or the second game?
Or the other way around, yeah.
Oh, he's not even starting out with his Swordcraft deck. So we'll see. Talk to me a little bit about Haven versus Shadow and what we can expect to encounter here, Aya.
Well, Haven versus Shadow, depending on the Haven build, tends to do pretty well against Shadow because Haven has a lot of banishing cards such as Blackman Scripture. It has Priest of the Cudgel, Judge of Retribution. Some people even run Acolyte's Light. So it has a lot of banish. It can prevent Shadow from gaining shadows to fuel their cards for later in the game. For what it looks like right now is Haven's probably on a little bit more of a control package. So it should do pretty good versus Shadow.
Yep, this is banish actually stops you from getting shadows and stops those last word effects. So if you were to banish that Skull Cradle Widow, Show wouldn't draw a card off the Skull Cradle Widow. So this is kind of like an old classic sort of rivalry between the two factions because of that. So
the other thing is that this particular setup with the Beast Call Arya getting popped on 3 is traditionally pretty difficult for Shadow to deal with, at least this stage in the game. Right now, he'll be able to deal with the 4/4 by playing the Zombie Party on the Tiger, but he still has the 2/1 in play, and he can play Grimnir from hand to get another follower in play. So,
yep. Beast Call Arya is pretty hard to answer for a lot of factions. Just if it gets popped on 3 the turn after it's played by a Dogma, it puts a lot of stats on board. But here we have Lyriel, showing why she's one of the best 2-drops again.
Oh yeah, the thing is that Lyriel never stopped being a good 2-drop. It's just that like even when like the Alice package was being heavily used, like it was always just an insanely good card.
There's a new card, Mark shares Tea Time, spawning the Tin Soldier, which lets him shoot something for 3 and then also attack because it evolved. So it's going to let him do a similar effect right back to Show.
Yep. Now, one of the things about Mark shares Tea Time that makes it incredibly powerful versus like other amulets in Haven is that Mark shares Tea Time, when it's played, gives you a follower. And that's something that we haven't really seen with the Haven amulets before. So it's a little new.
Right, yeah, Haven usually was sort of like, I'm going to put this down and it's going to do nothing for a few turns, but then hopefully pay off and give me something great. This is looking like a really, really old, like, Garuda with heals shoved in list. Got that Curate and then also the Radiance Angel. It's looking interesting.
Wow, Snow White Cat Mage. I like this guy. Show, you are my new horse, man.
Ooh. And he set that Tin Soldier up to pop faster with that Dogma last turn. Show played directly into it, so if TT wants to, yep, he's gonna pop his last evolve and clear the board here.
I don't necessarily disagree with this. He's gonna need his Themis and all of his, he's gonna need his Themis decrees for these Ektars. That's going to come down. He already knows that there's a potential for Ektar coming down in the next turn, so he's definitely going to be set up to be able to deal with that big board that Ektar is going to present. Well, actually, it won't present much because he doesn't have that many shadows. So
yeah, Show actually put TT in a pretty good spot there. Show used his evolves to put TT in a spot where he had to clear with an evolve while he was holding answers to it. He's holding Soul Squasher, he's holding Lurching Corpse, Necro Assassin, and then drew into an even better one. So that pressure play was really strong there.
Yeah. Now, one of the issues that arise is what exactly Show is going to, okay, he's just going to go for... thing is, like, just like TT doesn't have an end game in hand.
Yeah. Well, he's got a better end game than TT's got. TT is actually 100% not developing anything important unless he draws a Seraph here.
Well, I think he's playing Igus. I don't think he's playing Seraph.
Yeah, he could draw a Seraph or an Aegis.
Yeah. So, let's see here. Mortal Thane, that's pretty good. That's really.
Dropped it pretty
He can
fast too. And there was that Judge of
Yeah.
Retribution you were mentioning. Yeah, earlier with the more banish.
Yeah, he snap played that Immortal Thane. Another Judge, a Priest of the Cudgel with no Evo effect. Oh man.
Yeah, this is just. It looks like
He's not
TT is. It seems like TT is answering what Sho is doing, but Sho is the more proactive player in this game. He's actually
Definitely.
playing cards, and he's gotten 2 Themises out of TT, which is very important.
Yeah, TT was, probably trying to hope to hold those for, much bigger boards, but unfortunately, he's in a really bad position right now, TT. I mean, he can use the Grimnir to wipe away at least part of those followers, but, oh, man.
Wow. Well, we found out we're all banished. We're on 4 banished cards in a row.
Yeah. But the problem is that Sho has drawn he has all the shadows he needs. All of them.
This head can't be taken.
He definitely does. He can go in for 6, even evolve that White King if he wants to.
Oh, I don't think he
Going for
needs to evolve it, but
And he could.
definitely.
8. Alright, Sho
This
doesn't
feels
agree with that.
really bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, Sho, he knows it's time to extend. He was holding the win condition, or at least the more proactive play the whole time. He had the Ether for a very long time. And he got 2 Themises out of TT, with great pressure plays, and now he's just going in. And TT's got a full hand, but it's just, not a lot of it's very useful.
Yeah, it's full-handed duds.
It's not very proactive without any evolves left. Ooh,
Nice
there we
hit,
go.
though.
Always.
Nice hit. Okay, so we have.
Does have a lot of healing, though, so at least there's that.
Yeah. I mean, he's a lot of cards in, and still hasn't won his position.
I mean, realistically, those curates are 5/5s, and they're going to put you up 10 total if you cast them both. So you can go curate Black and Scripture this turn.
And still no win con, but it's okay. Yeah, I think the curate Black and Scripture play is a very solid line, and he's not doing that at all.
For Judge, he's digging. He knows he needs cards. Another Scripture. Wow. At least he can full clear. He can full clear and play the Aria this turn.
Yeah, but Sho's still sitting on a play point. He still has an Ektar. I'm sorry, not play point. Evo point. He still has an Ektar.
That play was
he's
also
using all
very
of the
dangerous
shadows.
against Phantom Hell.
Yeah.
Had Sho had a Phantom Hell there.
Yeah, man. Ektar value.
Yeah, Ektar value. Oh, Demon Eater coming down. He's digging, getting rid of a zombie here. Ooh.
Yeah. All right. So he's just, he's sitting there with a nice board. There's only one. And oh my goodness, man, he has got to be frustrated right now.
All right, so you Garuda the Aria? No, you Garuda.
No, I think you have to hit a tribunal.
You Garuda Tribunal and hit the Ether because it's easy, and then you Black and Scripture the Okay, so he's gonna make it a 33% chance hit, and he doesn't go for it. Aw.
Oh man, this is dangerous, man.
789, 3 damage. He still doesn't have. Oh, that's 1 more damage. He needs 2 damage.
1 more damage.
If only the Swan was playable, along with Snow.
Yeah. It's not though. So I mean,
Yeah, it's not.
I think that playing the Snow would be ideal here, right? I mean,
Yeah, it
just
draws a
do
card.
that, get the additional damage. Draws a card.
Yeah, it draws a card. I'm not sure how many outs there are, though. Another Snow wouldn't be enough.
Prepare yourself.
I can act like a babe.
If these Tribunals pop and hit the 5-1 and 5-6, this is looking really good for TT, actually, because he can follow that up with another Curate.
And he better start praying to whatever RNGesus he prays
Yeah,
to,
this is-
because
This is mom's spaghetti right here. Yeah. She's actually gonna
Right.
flood the board more to make it harder.
All right, here we go.
No. Oh, a
But he
Themis!
drew the 3.
He drew a Themis.
This is an easy Themis, right? Like, you don't do anything else. You just play Themis Agree.
I mean, you could play Curate. Technically.
Not. You got
And be at 1 on board.
Oh
Ooh, but
man,
Thane-
an immortal thing.
Gosh, dude.
upon you.
He's
He
not.
just can't catch
Pain
me.
will follow.
And he's out of this.
No more Thenises. More ways to wipe outside of Bahamut, but, you know, I don't see that in his hand, so.
Yeah. Oh, and still no win condition, man. He's got 10 cards left. Nothing.
He's got 10 cards left, yeah. I mean, he might just be Garuda deck with, like, top-end Curates. It's possible.
I guess.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
possible.
Like, I don't know if you really have this kind of a list and, you know, not have, like, a Seraph for Iris in game. I don't think it's Seraph, though.
Oh, if only he could play that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this kind of list looks like it wants an Aegis, looks like it wants a Seraph, but he got, you know, 9 cards left in deck and didn't draw either, so.
I would call this this game a game of Show defeating just like TT with wet noodles, but it wasn't even really wet noodles. It was kind of like, it was actually pretty painful. It was pretty hardy punches, and TT was just barely kind of like struggling, like rolling down the hill trying to get away from Show. That is the most tragic, when you just keep drawing things that just keep you alive but can't win the game. And I think that is a classic kind of fault of playing decks that are too defensive, right? You're just extending the time it takes for you to lose. So Shadowcraft is out. So is going to swap to this fantastic Swordcraft deck. And it looks like just like TT has swapped to Shadow as well. Talk us through the mulligan stage here. Why would Show keep his cards? Why would just like TT mulligan all 3? Where is the philosophy behind all of this, Aya?
Well, Show will keep his cards because Bladed Hedgehog because he's definitely going to be playing it on 2. Unless like TT plays something that will force him not to play the Shield and Flame. But when Bladed Hedgehog, when your opponent something your opponent dies, and you have Bladed Hedgehog in play, the Bladed Hedgehog gets bigger. So what he can use is the Bladed Hedgehog to put that in play. Then he can use like his Shield and Flame or his Novice Trooper to run into the opponent's follower, so he can buff his Bladed Hedgehog so it can trade better or do more damage to the opponent. That's why he would keep his hand for sure.
Right. Show was actually last game really good at pressuring TT, pressuring evolves out of him. And this is the same situation where TT's going first again and has 1 less evolve, so actually might be interesting to see if Show can pull that off with Control Sword, which is pretty hard because Control Sword, or even just, you know, mid-range sword, without Floral Fencer on the draw doesn't really do too much as far as pressure plays go.
Well, I hate to say this, but like Show's hand is pretty good against TT. Like he's got the Council of Card Knights.
Why do you hate to say that? You don't want Sword to win?
Well, it's because I gave Sword a 2% chance of winning and actually has a pretty high chance of winning right now. So,
that was
you know,
I can't give him 2%, come on. There was that Mave leader though, drawing. It had Luminous Mage and Albert as an option, and it drew Roland instead, which is a 7-mana card. And on the play, or on the draw, sorry, it's not gonna come down for 3 more turns. So
even now with the game, I just really put in a lot of work.
This is where Show's gonna feel. Oh, Floral Fencer. It's where you start to feel the fact that you're playing Sword. Your opponent starts to flood the board a little bit, and you're like, where are my options to this? Like, where you have to run Cyclone Blade if you want to answer this.
Well, one of the more unfortunate things about.
He is ironclad.
A lot of the time, you don't really
Running
have
away is okay.
so like Cyclone Blade becomes a lot harder to play in the turns that you need to play it like earlier in the game.
Beautiful, powerful, and cute to
Right,
boot.
it does become much worse on the draw.
Want to play? I'll blow you away.
Another, you know, that's it's a lot of pressure actually.
Yeah, yeah. TT's. I might have to, take back what I say. He's in a pretty decent spot.
He's so flip-floppy.
Yeah, hey, I just call it as it is. I just call the game. Hey, this game's going back and forth, but like, hey, you see what's going on?
Nasty is impatient.
Yeah, I see what's going on. The sword probably forced to evolve here again. Yep, on the Bane.
Death to the fires.
Is high statted, but it won't live, unfortunately. Could have probably thrown in a Goblin Mage and gotten away with it, but Squasher being an option means that he doesn't want to risk that, so.
Oh, that's a draw. That's
Yep,
gonna be
it's
good
actually
in
a
the-
great draw for the sword.
Majesty.
Mhm. And now he can jam this portal thing.
On you.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Sha at all. Because what do you do this turn? You play a Roland? Yeah, roll.
Roland
Actually,
is not the
Roland.
play you want to
You
do.
and I, knight. My sword brings hope. You are done for.
So,
Turn the power of
Luminous
hope
Mage,
to light.
being evolved,
Run away.
he can't trade into the thing because it won't kill it. End up killing his own Luminous Mage, so obviously that would be pointless. Hmm. That Odile. It's not bad.
That bad. Yeah, it's not actually not bad.
They're so fresh.
However, Squasher's a little bit better. Because you can Squasher, attack face, Demon Eater, but the trade here is pretty juicy. I don't know. He might go for it.
Well, the thing is, like the Odile gives him, a pretty dominating board presence. He takes out the thing he gave the opponent, and
Yep.
yeah, and he's going to do 2 additional damage. Like this is
Don't let
hard.
the light blind you.
It's actually interesting that he chose to Soul Squash and then go for Odile, when he could have thrown in the Skull Beast and then Odiled, and then had 2 mana to Demon Eater after.
Wasn't I good enough?
Or just play Lurching
I think
Corpse
he-
if he wanted to.
Safe with me, Captain.
I think he just wanted the board.
Yeah, but keeping a 1/1 is very interesting, because you're not holding Ether. I'm not sure what the 1/1's plan was there. But, yeah.
So he
Back
just
on
traded
the
into
Roland
it,
hate
so-
train. He's holding a Roland and it doesn't do anything. So
Yup.
he can't do anything with it. Unfortunately.
Blimey.
That's what I say, man. Roland just doesn't do anything. Like,
Ooh. Ugh. Hurt onto Thane is absolutely disgusting.
man, can I get the vomit bag? That was just.
That is 2
That
0
was-
mana. White Kings. Oh gosh.
Oh man, this is just hurting my soul right now.
Yeah, this is disgusting. TT needs to stop it.
What does Soul do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
There's nothing. Literally, the only answer
Nothing.
Sword has is Cyclone Blade.
Yeah.
I
Nothing.
know I keep saying it, but they need that card to answer any of this. Or Bahamut. They could play Bahamut.
Prepare for battle.
Yeah. Because Bahamut really synergizes well with that Roland.
I mean, it synergizes with your deck better than Roland does. So,
That's true. That's true.
poor Roland. She's the last card in his hand as he dies. No.
Worry battle.
Poor Roland.
Yeah.
Poor Sha.
Hey, at least he went out with a good-looking card.
But he didn't even play it.
At least there's that. So, show with the... we said it was okay, right? You don't need to win with playing Roland. You just need to have Roland in the deck and then win. That's the MO here. Now,
But he did.
the big thing here for me is now we're going to... It just really seemed like Shadowcraft was like doing all these complex kung fu moves and had like so many different interactions and ways that it could draw options and options. And Swordcraft was basically playing as vanilla as it can get, just 1 card at a time, nothing super fancy or fantastic really about it. Is Show in trouble here? You said 50%. Is this the 50% on the winning side? Is a glass half empty or half full, MV?
I think this is the only chance he's got. Yeah, like you said, Shadow in the new expansion, they have so many ways to just draw answers, and Sword's kind of like still playing the game fairly, playing like 1 minion a turn,
Yeah.
trying to get their advantage over a few turns, and Shadow's just like doing backflips and gymnastic moves. But I think against Haven, I think against this specific Haven list, this is his chance.
Alright, so the thing is, Sword historically has proven to be pretty good against Haven. So, especially Control Sword. Control Sword tends to be a powerhouse against Haven, so he does have a very considerable chance of actually taking this game.
Well, again, I don't think he's actually Control Sword, but yeah. I agree with his ability to have a chance here to win. Double Made Leader's just gonna pull double Roland, I feel it. Nope.
Oh, no.
We didn't pull Roland!
Oh,
We didn't
and he
pull
got
any
2
Rolands!
Alberts!
See, this is how you win with Sword. You pull Albert.
Yeah. That was some you know, some residual RNG he didn't have last game. Like it's just kind of faded over to this one.
That's definitely good. He's also not going to be the first player to evolve, never mind. He is going to be the first player to evolve, but he won't mind doing that here, so...
Luminous Mage, getting that free Evo, can trade into the Tin Soldier, and he'll use one of the Mage Leaders to take it out. But TT does have the Garuda to pop Tea Time.
He does, yep. Which will allow him to clear most things, except for that Maid Leader.
Don't think the Mage Leader is his most pressing issue.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not. He also could have achieved that same thing with just playing Cudgel, because Cudgel was pretty good there too.
True. He could have played Cudgel, evolved the Cudgel, and then played the Sacred Plate or the Beast Call Arya, so he could have got that down. But this is fine. Momo comes in real nice here. No Evo Point burn to take out the 5/4.
Yep, she actually, if she attacks a minion with 5 or more attacks, she gains Bane, and she has Rush naturally, so... Very useful card there against evolved minions, usually.
I mean, he's still sitting on... Whoa, brother.
Oh.
Yeah.
Doesn't want that Garuda living, at all.
I mean, I guess, but...
That was pretty aggressive, I mean...
That
Curate will
was
just...
definitely...
Not Curate? Interesting.
Well, he's
He does
probably
get the
looking
Arya
for
this turn.
some... Yeah, he's probably looking for some sort of late game, though.
You know, I think Sho is actually playing Shield of Flame with no option for a stealth minion.
That's not a problem. I mean,
interesting.
it does 3 damage to a target.
Yeah,
Like,
2 mana 3 damage. We actually saw Sho play around Banish right there too. He played the Novice Trooper first, instead of just playing the Enhanced Geno, because Enhanced Geno, when it dies, will put 2 1/1s on the board, but against Haven, that will never ever happen. So, just don't even
Especially
try.
not with Judge. Yeah, they're both sitting on... Oh, is that a Hero of Antiquity?
That is a
so
hero. That was the
good,
best
this
top
matchup.
deck ever.
Yeah.
That was so good, because now he saves the evolves. He has 2 Alberts and 2 Evolve Orbs.
Yep.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah. I hope he doesn't... Yeah, I hope he doesn't actually...
Your evil deeds end now.
Wait, what is
That was interesting. He's flooding the board against what I guess is going to be... This is very close to him just dying. That
Yeah,
was...
I don't get that. He actually, I think, just drew the game.
That was really interesting, because now he's going to get hit pretty hard.
He's going to 1. Like,
Whoa!
Oh, he's trading?
Defensive Albert. What?
Well, technically he's... Well...
I guess he was scared of the Garuda onto Tea Time? Because if he left that up, Garuda on Tea Time would have been really bad. And back upstairs.
I don't agree with this line. He's holding on to this evil point, and I think he should have done was play Curate gain a health, evolve it, take out the Albert, use the other two to trade. Oh my goodness.
That was played so fast. He just whipped it out there.
Right. Well, the Curate's coming good here, except it doesn't kill that now.
That's lethal. If he just plays...
Yeah.
Never mind. I was going to say, if he just plays Tribunal into Radiance Angel, but yeah, he played around Albert.
He
But I mean, that doesn't matter. He can't kill the
kill that.
Yeah.
I am the Mad Cyclone.
But Grimner, this ward,
Mm.
Full Fencer.
Prepare for battle.
He's going towards anywhere.
That's 11 damage. He's dead.
You
Yeah.
are
Albert,
done
Evo,
for.
Big Grimnir, they both get face. He's dead.
A little blood
Yeah,
won't
because
stop
Antiquity
me.
is... It's glowing like it has a rush, but it can attack face.
Your strength is undeniable.
Told you 50%.
Oh, stop it.
50%.
The 50%, it actually happened, and Sho was able to defeat just like TT. Now, there was actually a very interesting turn there. The turn where the first Albert came down.